In the past we've had a look at the Scale Model Handbook series in our videos. We're pleased to announce we've got some new titles that have been sent to us by Hysterex agents. You can get these from their store. The quality of these books is always excellent, and this time we've got two new releases. One relatively recent, one very recent. They're both World War II specials, so let's start off with the Scale Model Handbook World War II Special. This has a number of World War II subjects, dioramas, figures, busts, all sorts of content. The quality is excellent. As with all the Scale Model Handbooks, it comes with a matte cover, and the content always follows a similar format. After the introduction, you get a series of short articles that cover a particular build, and always there's plenty of detail on the types of paint, on the models used, the figure kits and so on, so plenty of information. There you can see just a quick glimpse of what's available. Panzer II diorama, Deutsch Africa Corps. There's this fantastic Simca vignette using the Tamiya kit. Really beautifully painted and detailed, this model. Moving on, you can see just a quick cross section. Kharkov 1943. As always, there's a good selection of step-by-step photos which really help when you're trying to paint something complex like this Waffen-SS camouflage smock. What we'll do is, if you're interested in this volume 1 of the World War II Special, we'll put a link up to the detailed review of that book, but hopefully you've seen enough of that one. What we're going to really concentrate on is the newest release, and this is the World War II Special Volume 2. What we love about this is that it takes a different approach in terms of the premise and looks at the figure art of one particular artist, Man Jim Kim. We find that this approach of looking at a particular artist across a number of subjects is a really good way of doing it. It allows you to really get to grips with an artist's particular painting style and also to familiarise yourself with their techniques. Most of the figures in this book are German. The title is, of course, World War II German Uniforms, a Guide to Painting Miniature Figures in Acrylics. They will have different uniforms, and thanks to this book you'll see you get a cross-section of all different types of uniform and how to paint them using this particular figure painter's own range of techniques. Let's have a look at what you get. There are 80 or so pages, obviously full colour, again with the matte cover that we're used to. There's a preface that gives a bit of an introduction into the modeler that's featured in this particular publication. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters. Now, many of you may recognise the name MJ Miniatures is the painter's company. There's an introduction looking at different types of tools. That's all very useful. We get a sense of what this particular figure artist uses. And the introduction begins with a look at preparation and assembly of resin figures, this case using a Vietnam era figure, but the rules apply generally. There's also a fair bit of text here on the features of acrylic paints and using brushes, so there's plenty of advice as well as imagery, as we'll see later. There's a colour chart, different types of colours that were used. And then we get started. Chapter 3 is painting the face. Here we look at using a 1/35th scale figure from Alpine Miniatures. This sort of step-by-step, really good quality graphics is going to help anyone to get the highlights and shadows of a soldier's eyes, and then start with the flesh shades, which we can see here. You can follow this through, there's paint references, and we find that really useful. Really great macro photography. Again, we see a different example. Once more, we see how to paint effective eyes. And the finished product is truly spectacular. Really fantastic style. It's fair to say there's not just one type of paint manufacturer used, there's all different types, including ones we didn't recognise. And it will walk you through painting, for example, a field grey tunic, how to do that, painting black and white. Where we find this style of book is so useful is painting really complex schemes. We always have difficulty painting things like Waffen-SS camouflage, oak leaf type camouflage, Italian camouflage. It's always difficult to get the highlights and shades when you've got a complex range of colours underneath, and this explains it in exact detail that you can paint along to as well. We see in chapter 4 the P pattern camouflage as well is also approached the same way. Figures used are of different scales. This is 120mm, 1/16 scale, again This is with the palm tree SS camouflage pattern. The quality of the artwork and the photography is just fantastic. As you can see, there's an article on painting leather. Again, there's text, and this will help you get a realistic leather finish. Accessories aren't missed out either. Rifles and pouches. It's really a whole wealth of information here. The small vignette type dioramas are covered. And then what we found really excellent is to have a gallery at the end of all these fantastic figures painted to the highest quality. There's also details of if they won any awards, like that one for example won a gold award at Euromilitaire. So we're in the presence here of really top quality work. These build up into an amazing collection of bookazines. You can pick them up, leaf through them, just enjoy the imagery, or you can use them to guide your figure painting and improve it. We absolutely love them. They build into a really attractive collection to have in your library, and we highly recommend them. And you can get them from Hysterix agents. Both of these would make an excellent addition to your collection. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and bye.